Quick experiment. Think about the last 20 minutes you spent scrolling. Somewhere in there, you probably saw something adorable. A puppy, a baby, a soldier coming home. And somewhere very close to it, something that made your chest tighten. A disaster, an outrage, a warning about something in your food or your water. Cute. Scary. Cute. Scary. Then an ad. You'd call that a random feed. A man who spent 2 decades training military and intelligence personnel in interrogation and influence calls it something else. He calls it a formula. 4 steps. He says it's the same basic architecture behind cult indoctrination, hostile interrogation, and the thing in your pocket. And he spells it with 4 letters that are a little too on the nose. FEAR. Today, what the formula is, why a behavior expert says you're inside it right now, and because we've covered where this playbook comes from before, the documented history that says he might have a point. The expert is Chase Hughes, former U.S. Navy chief, 20 years in the military, now one of the most cited behavior and influence trainers in the world. The guy intelligence agencies and interrogators bring in to teach human behavior, persuasion, and yes, the mechanics of brainwashing. He wrote what many in that world treat as the operations manual on behavior profiling. When podcasters ask him what he does, his answer is disarmingly casual. He says he teaches everything from brainwashing to interrogation. And in the last couple of years, Hughes has been saying something in every interview that keeps going viral. That brainwashing is not a Cold War relic or a cult thing. He argues it's a real, repeatable process, and that we are living in the most psychologically manipulated era in human history, not because of some secret villain. We'll get to that twist. First, the formula itself, because once you hear it, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. Fair warning. Step 1. Capture attention. And Hughes is specific about how. Not with the most important thing, with the most novel thing. Your brain, he explains, runs on prediction. Every second, it's forecasting what happens next. When something breaks that prediction, a weird sound, a shocking headline, a video that starts mid-action, your attention snaps to it involuntarily. You don't choose it. It's the same reflex a dog has when you make a strange noise. Mammal hardware. Now look at your feed with that in mind. Every clip starts at the most shocking frame. Every headline is engineered to be slightly wrong footing. Every thumbnail, yes, including ours, we live in this ecosystem too, is competing to break your brain's prediction first. One novelty snap is harmless. Hughes's point is what happens when it's hundreds of times a day, every day. Your attention stops belonging to you. It gets trained to jump on command. Step 1 complete. Someone else is holding the leash of where you look. Step 2. Once they have your focus, run your emotions up and down. Fast. Hughes compares this to a hypnosis technique called fractionation. Bringing someone up, then down, then up, then down. Each swing making them more suggestible than the last. Stage hypnotists have used versions of this forever. Now map it onto your feed. Heartwarming reunion video. Terrifying news clip. Hilarious meme. Enraging injustice. Adorable animal. Existential threat. Up, down, up, down. Hughes argues that's not an accident of variety. It's the emotional roller coaster doing exactly what fractionation does. Each swing lowers your defenses a little more. And he points out where the ride tends to stop. On fear or scarcity, right before an ad. Because in his words, showing you an ad for shoes is way easier after the baby deer video, or after making you think the water supply is being destabilized. You've felt this. That weird emotional whiplash after 20 minutes of scrolling, where you're somehow exhausted and wired. That's not you being weak. That's step 2 working. Step 3 is the one that genuinely spooked us. Agitation, in Hughes's formula, isn't about making you angry. It's about breaking your ability to predict the world. Your brain carries a map of how things work. What's safe? What's true? What happens next? Agitation is the systematic disruption of that map. Story after story that contradicts the last one. Institutions you trusted questioned. Certainties dissolving on a daily schedule. And here's the mechanism. A brain that can't predict its environment goes into a kind of emergency openness. Psychologists have long known that uncertainty makes people dramatically more suggestible. When your map fails, you grab the nearest confident voice offering a new one. Hughes describes the end state bluntly. The process creates a blank slate in people. If the last few years of your information diet have felt like your map of reality getting shaken like an Etch-a-Sketch, that feeling has a name in this formula. It's step 3. Step 4 is the simplest and the heaviest. Run the loop again. Focus. Emotion. Agitation. Repeat. Every scroll session. Every day. Hughes argues the repetition is what turns a manipulation moment into a manipulated person. The brain gets stuck cycling between blank slate and new inputs, and whoever supplies the inputs during that cycle is functionally doing the programming. And if you watched our video on government psyops, your eyebrows should be somewhere near your hairline right now. Because a program we covered there, MK Ultra, spent 20 years and millions of dollars trying to chemically produce exactly this. A mind wiped open and ready for new instructions. They wanted it from a drug. It mostly didn't work. Hughes's uncomfortable argument is that the modern version doesn't need chemistry at all. Attention, emotion, uncertainty, repetition, delivered through a screen, at scale, voluntarily, with the subject providing their own device and scrolling thumb. Now here's the part that separates Hughes from every wild-eyed corner of the internet. And honestly, it's the part we find most credible and most unsettling. When the interviewer basically asks him, "So who's doing this to us?" Hughes doesn't say the CIA. He doesn't say a shadowy cabal. He says, roughly, "I don't think it's a dark conference table with dudes smoking cigars. I think it's just an algorithm rewarding whatever creates the most revenue. Nobody had to design the fear loop into your feed. The algorithm tested 1 billion combinations of content and simply kept whatever held attention longest and sold the most. And what it converged on, blindly, was the same loop interrogators and cult leaders discovered by hand. Fractionation, agitation, repetition. Not because anyone chose it, because it works. And the receipts for it works are documented. We've covered them. A social media platform ran an experiment on nearly 700,000 users in 2014, tuning feeds happier or sadder, and successfully steered people's emotions without a single one of them knowing. That's not a theory. That's a published study. The scariest version of the story was never the villain version. It's the version where the machine found the brainwashing formula on its own, and nobody's driving. So what do you do with this? Hughes's answer, and ours, every time we cover this stuff, is the same. And it's the reason this video exists. The formula only works in the dark. Every step of fear depends on you not noticing it's happening. Novelty can't yank a leash you can feel. The emotional roller coaster loses its grip the moment you catch yourself mid-swing and go, huh, cute, scary, cute, scary. Add. Agitation can't blank slate a person who knows that manufactured uncertainty is a technique. You can't run this on someone who has the formula. Congratulations, you now have the formula. So here's your homework, and it's genuinely fun. Next scroll session, don't resist it, just label it. F, E, A, or R. Then come back and tell us in the comments which letter your feed leans on hardest. Ours is E. It's not close. If you haven't seen the PsyOps video, where this playbook's government ancestors are all documented, that's the prequel to this one. And subscribe, because the more of this stuff you can name, the less of it works on you.